If you've ever had the desire to learn Chinese or any other Category 5 language according to the Foreign Service Institute, stop here. There is no hope. You have all been warned, and any effort that you put is an exercise in futility. 大家好，我叫 B, and I recently saw this post on Reddit. So a guy apparently made this blog post discussing why Chinese is the hardest language in the world and low-key trying to convince you not to learn it. His post is unfortunately no longer available, but a kind fellow Redditor made a very comprehensive rebuttal, albeit a little bit emotionally charged. And I would recommend reading through the entire rebuttal if you're interested. I put the link in the description. This got me reminiscing back on the early days of my Chinese studies. I remember reading web page after web page just talking about why Chinese is so damn difficult. And there was even one article about why learning Chinese is a waste of your time. And I don't know if this was an entirely serious article, but there was attempt at justification, so it can't be completely satire. And I even found this essay going through all of the reasons why Chinese is so damn hard. Remember in a previous video when I talked about Chinese being a 5-year lesson in humility? Well, here's what the author of that essay has to say about that. Someone once said that learning Chinese is a 5-year lesson in humility. I used to think this meant that at the end of 5 years you will have mastered Chinese and learned some humility along the way. However, now after studying Chinese for over 6 years, I have concluded that the phrase actually means that after 5 years your Chinese will still be abysmal, but at least you will have thoroughly learned humility. Maybe I should have put that quote in my previous video, but I just found this essay, so I can talk ad nauseum about why this statement is very unhelpful at best, and I'm sure there's tons of videos talking about why a language is or isn't hard. But I want to talk more so about the underlying issues that this statement is built upon. In order for the statement, Chinese, or any language for that matter, is the hardest language in the world to be true, the logical extension of that statement is that there has to be really, really easy languages to learn. For a language to be hard, there must be a counter language that is easy. And this is what I take issue with. Yes, there are more challenging and less challenging parts to different languages, especially considering the linguistic influences that language families have, but there's no super easy language to learn. Each language takes time, effort, perseverance. And I feel that this statement can lead people into at least 2 different directions. Never learn a challenging language because it's too damn difficult. Feel discouraged when they can't learn an easy language. Can you see why a statement like this can be so discouraging to language learners? It also assumes that everyone wants to learn a language to fluency, when there are many who just want to talk to people, learn more about the history, the culture, the food, watch their favorite TV show in their target language, and so many other reasons. If learning a language is perceived to be impossible from the beginning, most people won't even try to learn it, even if they're really excited and interested in that language or culture. And on the other side, if someone is learning a quote-unquote easy language, if they're not progressing as quickly as those around them or are struggling pretty hard, they may give up language learning altogether because clearly they're just bad at languages. It's just not great all around. Let's take a closer look at this essay and see what I mean. Chinese is so damn hard because the writing system is ridiculous. For one thing, it is simply unreasonably hard to learn enough characters to become functionally literate. Again, someone may ask, hard in comparison to what? And the answer is easy. Hard in comparison to Spanish, Greek, Russian, Hindi, or any other sane, normal language that requires at most a few dozen symbols to write anything in the language. So Chinese is difficult, but Spanish, Greek, Russian, and Hindi are normal. First issue right there. They're normal and presumably easy. Even if words are built with only a few dozen symbols, just think about all the challenging spelling with too many exceptions in English. Anyone who's learned English as an adult will say that these spelling exceptions to all these rules are incredibly challenging. I learned English as a kindergartner and my spelling is still terrible. But I thought English was an easy language. It only has 26 letters. You can't cheat by using cognates. Here's a point that I think illustrates my argument pretty well. If you're an English speaker, there are Romance languages, Latin, Spanish, Romanian, French, and Germanic languages have a lot of words that are pretty similar, or cognates. El actor admira el arte. Without studying Spanish at all, you could probably guess that this sentence means the actor admires the art. In Chinese, this would be 演员欣赏艺术. Clearly, English speakers have a vocabulary advantage when learning Spanish as opposed to learning Chinese. There are just more words that sound similar in English, but just because you may have an easier time learning vocabulary in Spanish as an English speaker, that doesn't mean that Spanish is an easy language. Ever heard of false cognates? Spanish grammar and conjugation is a huge roadblock to a lot of people. Conjugating thousands of words in different ways is really difficult. Guess what language doesn't have verb conjugations? Chinese. But I thought it was the most difficult language in the world. And that's the core issue here. Each language has its own challenges. Yeah, we may have an easier time with certain components if they're similar to our native language, but that doesn't mean that this language is the hardest language and this language is the easiest language. There's no impossible language to learn or easy language to learn. And saying stuff like this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, learning will take time, effort, and perseverance, but if you put in that effort, you will see progress. And if you're discouraged that you're not progressing as fast as other people learning a quote-unquote easy language, then don't worry. Take it at your own pace and have fun with it. You don't need to compare your own progress to the progress of other people. We can all accomplish our goals. 加油! But I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and hopefully you haven't been discouraged in the past by posts, videos, or articles like this. Let's spread more positivity and remind each other that anyone can learn any language. Have a good one. 再见!